Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome back, folks, to About the House. I am so happy that everybody's joined us once again for this awesome presentation. This is a show that is absolutely nothing about your house. It is an audio university for knowledge from everything from construction to maintenance to home improvements to real estate and investing. And just like this show here, we also have a podcast that specializes in each and every week. We highlight on a trade or an industry, and so you can always go back. By the blessing of the answer, we have Forever Library that we can always go back to. They're going to have so many questions that I highly encourage you to take a notebook and pen and paper, write it down as we go through it, and that way when you contact us through Galloway Building Services Facebook page or our web page, you will be able to get an answer right away. Hey, this is Troy Galloway, your humble host. I am the owner of Galloway Building Services. And just like this show, our company is absolutely unique. There isn't another company in the Midwest that provides the services that we do for folks every day. We take care of construction consulting. We do construction inspections, brand new and remodel. We also do home improvement inspections. We also do commercial and residential. So if you're buying or selling a house or a building, you give us a call. Our goal is to make sure you're getting what you paid for. You're not getting ripped off, and the job is done right. Folks, before we get started here today, I do want to introduce one of our sponsors, Rob Jackson with the Crack Crew Waterproofing Company. You can also catch one of his podcasts. He's been on here with us in the past, and the phone number is 314-805-5692. And we'll repeat that at the end of the show, and we're going to jump right into it. I got something we're really doing pretty cool today here, and I'm pretty excited about it. What I've done is we've put together two different trades and the real estate business, and they are a real estate broker and a loan mortgage officer. And why we want to do that is to kind of show how it all blends together and some of the things that happens behind the scenes that most of us never experience, but it's absolutely so important for the job to go smooth. And so let me jump right in here. I got Rachel Raukar. She is the Senior Loan Officer and Vice President of Central Bank. And I've known her for, I don't really know how many years now, but several years, probably longer than she wants to remember. And also I have Ramona of J&H Properties, also one of our premier sponsors. And she is a real estate broker agent. And so what we're going to do is going to introduce these two ladies, and they're going to help walk us through what it is that we don't see every day when we're buying and selling a house. Rachel, Ramona, welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you folks have joined us today. So let's just jump right into this. Rachel, tell us how long you've been in the business and kind of what drove you to being a mortgage broker. I know you're in the side of insanity sometimes.
Very much so. Well, thanks, Troy. Thanks for having me, first of all. It's a pleasure to be here, so I appreciate it. So I have been in the origination side of the business for about 17 years. Worked for several different companies in all aspects of lending. I guess what brought me to this was really the idea of helping people with homeownership. I love working with clients. I love seeing their faces when we go to closing and just the celebration that they experience when they own their first house. And so honestly, it was just a way to help to serve others, but also stay in a very fast-paced, exciting industry. So, yeah.
Well, it's been exciting, hasn't it?
Yes, a lot of changes.
Especially over 17 years.
Yes.
You've seen some wild changes. Well, just like you, Ramona. So tell us how long you've been in the industry. I know you've been around forever.
Well, matter of fact, I have. So I've been a licensed real estate agent for over 31 years, and I've been a broker with my own company, J&H Properties, for over 18 years. And kind of like Rachel, we've worked together before, but I really just love the experience of helping people get, especially those getting into their first home. It's just such a great experience, and people are so happy, and you make such an impact in their life for such a long period of time that it just warms your heart working with these people. And to have the knowledge to help them get through this process, because it is a process. Even with your lender, it's a huge process. And, it goes for a long time. And the more knowledge you have, the better that you can help your buyer and or your seller. But with the lender, it's more like with the buyer more so than the seller. But you really do. It's just a great opportunity to help people.
And I know that both of you, everybody I've ever referred you to always says the same thing about you. So you're both a joy to work with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But of course, I know frustration does hit it for everybody. But let me ask you, so what is the role? The absolute role, or if there's such a thing as absolute in your business, between a realtor and a loan mortgage broker?
So, great question. So, from a lender's perspective, and actually really for both, we have a lot of roles. So, I'm sure Ramona can comment on that too. But to me, for the consumer, for the buyer, it's really the importance of educating them on what options are available, explaining to them the process so that they understand what's going to happen start to finish, and helping them decide what's the best solution for them. So I really like to explain what all is available. I use some different software tools to present options for them so they have a visual to look at and really decide what makes the most sense for them to finance the house. But then also, I think it's important the lender understands the sales contract. So there's deadlines that have to be met that we need to be aware of. We need to make sure that we're on target for closing and also for their loan commitment deadline. And then just to keep communication lines open between all parties. So it's really important that the lender's talking with the realtor, talking with the title company, talking with the buyer. So, there's a lot of roles there.
I bet. Well, Ramona, I know that your frustration sometimes can be with the whole process, with not having good communication. So, how does that work with you as being a broker agent to work with your mortgage broker?
Yeah, it's so important to have, communication with your lender. It really is, because they keep, the process of a loan, everything on track if you have a good lender. Now, you can have a lender that really doesn't understand the process, and you can have a lot of issues, and which means, bottom line is, you're not closing on time. Or maybe that loan won't even go through because they don't know the process. And so knowing that is just vital to the whole thing. And when I have a client come to me, the first thing you want to see is a pre-approval from a lender. And if they don't have that, then that's the first thing that they need to get. Because if you're going to write a contract on a home, if you don't have that, you could get kicked out from the very beginning. Another person comes in with a contract, your client doesn't have a pre-approval, they'll take the other contract over yours in a heartbeat.
I had some folks in here earlier. They was property manager folks doing a show, and they spoke about how important it was to have a mortgage broker in town, but not just in town. Somebody that you know personally. How do you feel about that, Ramona?
Oh, it's so vital. It really is, because I've worked with lenders before that I didn't know. And, some are okay, but then you have others that if they don't know the process, they don't understand the goal, and they don't understand your client, and they're out of town, they're hard to reach. You have answers or questions that you need to have answered, and sometimes it's immediate. You need to know right away in order to make the process flow and to get to closing on time. So if you have a lender such as Rachel that is in town and you pick up the phone, you can reach her. If you can't reach her, she must be at a closing, and she'll call you back. Give her half hour, Very important.
Well, Rachel, how does that work for you, making sure having people, because I know you'll work with anybody anywhere, and this show goes all over. So, but how does that work for you for having agents close that you know personally?
Well, I think it is very helpful. I do think that you, as the consumer, need to have access to your lender, to your realtor. Ideally, you probably do want somebody that's going to be in your area, so that if for some reason they're not getting a response, they can drive to the location and walk in and say, hey, what's going on?
Absolutely.
So, we work with out-of-state buyers all the time, and I think, again, it just comes back to they have to be reassured that they can reach me. So I give them my cell phone number. They can text me. They can call me on the weekends. Our underwriters are in my office with me, so that's important too.
Oh, that's
so
good.
yeah,
that's
so if
good.
I have a question, I literally am getting up and walking down the hall to say, hey, help me figure this out here. So just having that accessibility between all parties is key.
Rachel's the kind of person, Rachel's the kind of person, too, that she does work weekends. There's some lenders out there, you call them on a weekend, don't expect a phone call until sometime on Monday.
Well, I know she'll even call you back on vacation. So
she will.
I've had people tell me, I refer you guys both all the time. So, well, hey, we're getting ready to wrap up the first segment. We got a whole bunch of great stuff coming in, some meat and potatoes coming into the next segment, folks. And like I said, you get your pen and paper, make notes, and touch base with us. That's because we are with Rachel Ruckar of Central Bank Mortgage Company and Ramona with J&H Properties, real estate broker, and we just have there's going to be a lot of stuff to ask. So reach out to, they're going to give you their information, but also in the meantime, you could be reaching out to Galloway Building Services Facebook page and our website, www. If there's not too many W's in that, GallowayBuildingServices.com. Well, thanks, folks. We'll see you on the flip side.
Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome back, folks, to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway, owner of Galloway Building Services. We are your premier construction and consulting company. Let's just jump right into this, and I have two awesome guests here today. We have Rachel Ruckar, mortgage broker, and also Ramona of J&H Properties, real estate broker. So, hey, let's jump right into this, guys. And so tell me, what should, Rachel, we'll start with you first. Okay. What should somebody actually be looking for in a mortgage broker? Not just the best deal. There's tons more to that than just because the best deal isn't always the best deal.
Correct. So a lot of things I think are important. I do think experience comes a long way. The industry's changed a lot. Guidelines change frequently. There's a lot of different programs and products out there. So I think having somebody that you trust, that you feel like knows all the different programs, they understand the guidelines, they have access to the resources, that's a key component. Because as much as we like to rely on what we think we know, things change all of the time. So if you're not aware of that, then there can definitely be a hiccup in the process. So that's important. I think also having access to them, which we've talked about a little bit, having access to underwriting, to the team members. So what's nice with me is that everything is done in-house. So we've talked about that a little bit already. But again, having access to the processor, to the underwriter, to the closing department, so that all parties, are working together, they're all communicating to each other. So that is extremely important. I think also knowing the market. So again, this is going to come back to your realtor as well, but as the lender, we have to make sure that we're helping our buyers set themselves apart from the competition. So I always talk to my clients. So right now, our St. Louis market in many areas is very much a seller's market. So they're going up against competition when they're trying to buy a house. So I always try and help explain to them, what can I do to help set them apart? And maybe that's where I will call the listing agent when they make an offer on a property, and just introduce myself, explain what I do, that I've been in the business 17 years, that I have no concerns about this particular buyer. I'd love an opportunity to work with them, and I'm here in case they need anything. That goes a long way. Sometimes it's, you need a fast closing. Not all companies can accommodate that. So if you need a 3 or 4 week closing, we can get that done. It's just setting that expectation up front to the client is what's going to be expected of them. So I think understanding the market, understanding the contract, again, it just comes back to experience and to wanting to help your clients as much as possible.
That's awesome, and I know how true that is. Ramona, well, we'll ask you the same question. What should somebody be looking at a realtor? Because, I mean, it's really hard to choose.
It is.
And so what kind of questions should people be asking or thinking about?
Well, I think a buyer should look for in a realtor is someone with a lot of experience because, like Rachel said, they know the market. If you know your job, you know the market, and you get in there and you know your client before you start looking for them. You get to know, what are their goals? What are they looking for? What area are they looking for? Are they looking for a particular school district? Because that is absolutely important to a lot of people, especially people with children, and it makes such a big difference. Other questions are, what is their budget? You have to stay within their budget. You don't want to be showing someone a home that's $200,000 if they can afford a $150,000 home. They get in there, they look at that house, and, they get all excited about it, and it says, oh, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for that. So, you don't want to do that. You want to know everything you can know about this person and their family. What are their wants and dreams, and what exactly are they looking for? That way you can help them, to the best of your ability. And, you have to be very conscious of everything that they are looking for, and because every single transaction is different. So, you have to look for their goals. It's not about you. It's not about the area you work in. But you have to know all of that. You have to know your market. You have to know the area and everything you can about your client.
So, knowing your client, because I know that, Rachel, I'm going to throw this one at you. They'll come back, Ramona. So, programs seem to change all the time. And so I know that you try to you really do go out of your way to try to make the deal happen. Mm-hmm. How does that work with the programs changing and your communication with the real estate agents so they can communicate that to their clients?
Well, again, it's just knowing your guidelines, asking questions. I am the first one to say, if I don't know the answer, hang on, let me go find out. I will not tell you something if I am not 100% sure that that's going to be the case. And there are many times that I'll have to say, great question, I'm not too sure, or I believe you're going to qualify for this, but maybe we need to get your income documents first. Or if you are self-employed, that's a big key. It's just, again, looking at the documentation, reviewing that up front with the client, making sure that they fit the requirements for that particular program before you set them up to go start looking for houses. So it's just, making sure that you're answering questions and that you're giving them accurate information and that you are doing the research that's necessary to ensure that it's going to be a good, easy process.
Is that a good working tool for you, Ramona, having knowing the different programs from the different brokers?
Oh, absolutely. I love to learn what programs are out there and what's available. And, I will pick up the phone and I'll call Rachel and I'll ask her, what has changed lately? Do you have different programs? I have this client that's looking for this, and this. Can you help them? And, if she can't, she'll say no and move on to the next, But knowing those programs and even, when they change, knowing those things really helps your client. Say if you have a client that, they're looking at a house, they love the house, but the house needs work, Does that lender offer a type of loan that would be beneficial to that client? Can they get that loan to get in there and get that work done? If that's something that they want to do. 'Cause that's very important because some lenders, they don't offer those things. So, you're kind of beating a dead horse there if you go with that lender and they don't offer the things that your client is looking for. It's not a win-win for everybody. And real estate, in my opinion, needs to be a win-win. It needs to be a win for the seller, a win for the buyer, and for the lender, that it can help that person out, as well as that realtor. They need to know these things and be knowledgeable of those. And that way you can help them.
I bet. And so back to communication again, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, being able to pick up the phone and talking to your broker. And so if they don't have, what happens, Rachel, if they don't have a realtor yet and they know you because you've been around for 17 years in the industry. So I know a lot of folks know you. How does that work? Do you kind of guide them to go get a real estate agent?
Definitely.
I mean,
yeah.
so that you don't try to talk them into doing it yourself?
No. No. I've heard some horror stories on that.
Well, yeah.
It's extremely important for clients to use a realtor. I think that they don't understand the complexity of the contract. That's a key component of it. And then there are just a lot of things that happen in that process when it comes to negotiating the building inspection, when it comes to scheduling things. It's key to have that party. So yes, if somebody comes to me and they don't have an agent, I'm definitely going to recommend that they do find somebody and make sure that it's a good fit for both. Like Ramona said, you want to make sure that they're looking out for your best interest, that you feel like they're listening to you, that they are, there to help you get the best deal. So definitely I'm going to recommend that they find somebody.
Well, that's good to know because we have a lot of FSBO, for sale by owners out there. And I know that it gets I know from the inspection point of view, it's better for me to have a good agent and a good mortgage broker because we can all communicate. If they have an issue, they can contact me. And honestly, I get calls from mortgage brokers all the time. Hey, we got this particular issue. Can you go look at it? Or actually, I get a lot of deals out there that the agents call me and mortgage brokers say, this is about to fall through because we got a bad inspection. And we just know it's not true. Okay, would you go look? So, I think that back to communication, I think that's so very, very important. I would like to also, in the next segment, because we're getting ready to wrap this one up, I want to talk about a little bit about first-time home buying and what kind of programs and some advice that you folks would have for them and kind of get them going because honestly, when I just talked to some young people today, they're scared to death, and they really need somebody to be their friend and help them out and guide them. And so that's why I love having you guys on the show. Well, hey, we are ready to wrap this segment up. Give us a call. Galloway Building Services. If you have any questions about this show, we'd love to help you. Thank you.
Sponsored by Troy Galloway and Galloway Building Services, your top choice for professional home inspections in the St. Louis area. GallowayBuildingServices.com. Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome back, folks, to About the House. I'm really thankful that you all came back and joined us once more. This is Troy Galloway, your humble host, owner of Galloway Building Services. We are a construction consulting company. We also do construction inspections as well as commercial and residential inspections. So if you're buying a home or a building, give us a call, or if you got a construction project, touch base with us. We'd love to hear from you. Hey, we got a couple of leaders in the industry. We have really this show is really doing a lot of fun, but with a lot of great information because we got two leaders. We got a mortgage broker and Rachel Rekar, a vice president of Central Bank, and also Ramona of J&H Properties, real estate broker. So let's just jump right into this, ladies. And so we said we was going to come in to talk about first-time home buyers. And I know you both really enjoy warming the hearts of these beautiful people. Mm-hmm. So, Rachel, tell me some of the different things that you got out there that could help folks with, how to even get started.
Sure. So definitely I would say talk to a lender first. A lot of buyers like to get online and see what's out there, and they may find something they fall in love with and then quickly realize that it was more expensive than what they wanted to spend. So I definitely say start with a lender. Find out what's available to you. There are grant programs. There's down payment assistance options. We've got 100% first-time homebuyer loans. So there's a lot of unique programs specific to first-time homebuyers. So it's important that they understand what's available. I always tell mine to sit down and come up with a budget. Too often they don't know what they want to spend, so they lean on the lender to just pre-approve them for the maximum amount. And that can be way more than what they're comfortable with in terms of a monthly payment. So I think it's important that they have a budget. They come up with a monthly payment that they're comfortable with, and then let me use that to figure out what size house, how much they want to spend and what that can do for them. Other things are, understanding your credit. That's really important to have a lender look at your credit report, find out, are there things that maybe you can quickly fix that'll improve your scores, because it does affect your pricing. So interest rates are driven by credit scores in many cases. So the better your credit can be when you're ready to buy a house, the lower interest that you'll have, and the more options you'll have available to you. So I think, those few things, just making yourself aware of what's your budget, how does your credit look, what programs are available to you, that's going to set you up for success from day one.
Now, how does that work for you, Ramona, for the new first-time home buyers in a relationship to working with the mortgage broker so as that you don't spend a whole lot of time on somebody that...
Well, actually, Rachel is absolutely correct. A lot of times you'll have people call up and say, I want to see this house. Say it's a $200,000 home. They have no clue on what a payment would be for that home. Not only is it, what the lender is going to charge for your principal and interest on that loan, but you've got taxes and you've got your insurance as part of that payment. And sometimes people don't understand that. So knowing what a payment is going to be on a particular home is so crucial, because you may be used to paying, say $1,000 a month for your payment. Well, if you buy that home, it could be way over your budget and you have no clue. So the first thing to do is to get pre-qualified, and the programs that even the central bank has to offer first-time home buyers, there are just so many of them out there, and they change all the time. That's why, as a broker, you have to depend on your lender, and because they can tell you all the programs out there, they can talk to the client, they can explain everything, and they can get them pre-qualified for whatever programs are out there that's best beneficial for them. And that's why it is absolutely so important to do that.
What happens when they can't get the loan? How do you two communicate with each other? Say their credit score. You mentioned credit score, how important that is. And I know we only got about a minute or so left in this segment. So how does that work? What would you do to help these folks? Rachel?
So I will give them advice. Obviously, for doing this for so many years, we've figured out a lot of what goes into your credit score and how to improve it. So some things I can tell them, do X, Y, and Z, and within 90 days you'll be good as gold. Other times you may want to work with a third-party company. There are credit repair companies out there that I can refer them to. Sometimes it's just paying down debt, and how soon can you do that? Is it you just maybe not in the budget that you want to be, but if you pay off some credit cards or a student loan, that might put you where you do want to be.
How does that work for you, Mona? Does that help you as far as your clients, for you to stay in touch with them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've had clients that thought they were ready to buy a home. And then, I send them to Rachel, and she tries to pre-qualify them. They're not quite ready. And that's okay, because she works with them and gets them where they are ready to buy the home that they want to buy. Not just any home, but the home that they really do want to purchase. And we work together on that, whether they're able to do it for this month or maybe 6 months down the line.
I think that, and then they trust you. They know that you wasn't out to push a house.
Absolutely.
So then you have a client, and you, because of your hard work, you both got. I think that's awesome, and I know that really helps the first-time home buyers, because I hear them talking out there all the time, and I hear them both will give you both compliments. Well, folks, we're wrapping up this segment and about the house with Rachel Rockcar and Ramona of J&H Property and Central Bank, and we will catch you on the flip side. Write down your questions. Touch base with us. Send us some messages. Galloway Building Services. Thank you.
Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome back, folks, to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway, owner of Galloway Building Services. We are a construction consulting and inspection company. You ever have any problems with your construction project, or you just want to make sure it's being done right? Give us a call. We also do commercial and residential inspections, and that's why we have these two wonderful ladies here with us today. Rachel Ruffcar, Senior Mortgage Loan Officer, Central Bank, and Ramona, owner and operator of J&H Properties. So we're going to jump right back into this, and something that's very dear to my heart as a veteran is veteran loans, and how can we help the men and women that have served our country. Rachel, what kind of, you got some good programs. How do you take care of them?
Sure. So first of all, thank you for your service.
Well,
we appreciate it. So the VA loan is, I think, the best program that's available, bar none. So if somebody qualifies for a VA loan, by all means, I want them to take advantage of that. So basically, it allows for 100% financing. There's no mortgage insurance. There are instances where you can qualify for more than one VA loan at a time, so some people don't know that. So again, it's just making sure that you have a lender that can provide that type of program. Not all lenders can do VA loans. So it's important.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you definitely want to know that the person that you're working with is experienced with VA loans, that their office, their company does provide them, and that they're well versed in what the guidelines are. But it's a fantastic program available to veterans.
I got a question for you before I go to Ramona here regarding that. One time, shows how old I am. One time, VA loans was assumable loans. So as meaning that, so are they still?
They still are.
To explain to the folks what assumable loan means.
Okay, sure. So that's offered with VA and FHA loans. So if you were to sell your property and you currently have a VA loan or an FHA loan, if the buyer of your home qualifies for that program, and they can pay you the difference between what you owe on your mortgage versus what you're selling the house for, they can assume your current mortgage with your remaining term at your interest rate. So for those that have 3%, 3.5%, maybe 4% interest rates on their loans, as rates continue to rise, which eventually is going to happen, that is a good program to be able to market to sell your house.
And for all my real estate investor friends out there listening right now, this is a great way of being able to help, get a more of a no money down kind of a deal sometimes, you know. So you can incorporate that in. Well, Ramona, I didn't mean to jump right over there to you too, so I should have patted you or something. But veteran loans, so we're working with veterans, not the loan part of it. What is it? How can a good agent help guide them in this?
Well, again, thank you for your service, Troy. Everybody appreciates that, and we appreciate all the veterans out there, men and women, because they have done so much for our country and continue to do so. It used to be a time that, I never recommended VA loans because they always gave the veterans it seemed like a hard time, and it took forever to get it through. The paperwork was just overwhelming for them. But now things have changed so much. I recommend VA loans whenever you can do it, and find the right lender. Rachel is absolutely correct. You have to have a lender that offers those, and you also have to have a lender that knows what they're doing with a VA loan too as well. To make it close on time and to make it run smoothly, that's exactly what you want. And I know, Rachel does that with her loans. And right now, they're easier to get through. I'm not going to say they're a breeze, but they are easy, and the rates and all the benefits from it are they're just overwhelming. It's just awesome. So I love to work with veterans, and there again, you just make their life, and this is a home they're going to be in for many years, and they're really so appreciative, and it's just a joy to work with these people.
I think it's an awesome program, and it's been around for a long time. And I'm as a veteran, that's one of the promises that we get.
Right,
I know I'm sounding a little soft here, but I'm melting here because it means a lot. It means a lot.
It's a big bonus that that they are assumable loans too, because that can help the next buyer and help the veteran that just bought the house, the seller.
Is there more hoops to jump through, Rachel, when you do a VA loan?
Not really. Unfortunately, a lot of the industry still has some concerns. So I think some sellers or maybe listing agents might get a contract with a VA loan and they are thinking, oh, there's going to be a ton of predications. And there really is not. I mean, when it comes to an appraisal, whether it's VA, FHA, conventional, we're all still looking out for the same thing. Is there any safety or health concerns? Is there mold in the home? Is there things that can potentially be hazardous to you? And we want those things corrected regardless of the type of loan. So other than that, the VA does actually have their own appraisers. So they certify particular people, then they will go out and appraise the house. So you do have a limited pool of appraisers, so you want to keep that in mind, and that the seller is responsible to pay for the termite inspection. That's really the only differences with the VA loan. So they're not a complex loan at all.
Oh, good, because I remember at one time that people said that, and I've heard that a lot, all kinds of stories like that. And I think that's a good point what you said about the sellers pay for the loan. So when we do an inspection, we do the termite inspection. Also, we just bill.
Correct.
And so we just send the mortgage, which is awesome because when you know the people like I know you, I could just make sure. Oh, and as an inspector, we get paid at closing. We really want to know the mortgage broker. Yeah, we really want to know that the agent's there that's watching out for us and making sure that that we're going to get our money. So so sometimes we do get paid at closing, and we do that to help, especially with veterans and folks like that. Well, folks, hey, we're wrapping this segment up. You write down any questions that you have, touch base with us. Thank you, and we will catch you on the flip side. Welcome back, folks, to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway, owner of Galloway Building Services. And I have two awesome people here with us here, and we are wrapping this show up. So, Ramona, let me ask you, I want to finish up with the veterans. So you was telling a break time about how you guided somebody into doing a VA loan. Tell us about what happened with that.
Yeah, I had a client that I suggested he go VA because I knew he was a veteran, and he didn't want to do that because of all the paperwork, and he had done it before and had a whole lot of issues. And I said, just try it. That's all I ask is contact the lender and just see what they have to say and just give it a shot. So he was on board. He was so happy that I had suggested that. The loan went so smooth. He was actually able to buy a nicer, bigger home than he had ever anticipated, and no down payment. It just was awesome.
Rachel, do you ever guide anybody like that?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Good.
The difference in the payment, it allows you to buy more of a house. So if that's something that you want, this will give you an opportunity to do that for a lesser payment. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, hey, Rachel, let everybody know how they can find you, your phone number, and how best to hunt you down.
Sure. Okay. So again, it's Rachel Ruffcar. I'm with Central Bank Mortgage. My direct line is 314-219-0470. Feel free to Google. You can find me online. I have a website. There's different reviews if you want to, read what people have said about working with me. But I'd love to help answer any questions, just guide people in the right direction and be a resource for them. So again, 314-219-0470.
And Ramona, how can they best find J&H Properties? What are the different avenues that they can catch you on?
Okay, well, you can please call me on my private cell number, which is 314-602-4835. I love to help all buyers and sellers out there. It just warms my heart to get you in that home that you've been dreaming of all these years. So please give me a call anytime. I am here to help you. Again, 314-602-4835.
Hey, do y'all have any web pages or Facebook pages to contact you on?
I do. So website would be www.centralbank.net/Rachel, Rachel, Ruffcar, Rufkahr.
And Ramona?
Yes, you can reach me on my website as well, J&H Properties. And again, on my Facebook page, or give me a call, 314-602-4835.
Well, and also, too, you can also contact us on our Galloway Building Services Facebook page. And we're going to actually try to get a blog, a little something from them, and a little bit more information. And we're going to, we'll give you all their contacts. So don't worry if they couldn't write it down quick enough, because we definitely will give it out for you. And I also, here, before we're wrapping this up, I want to give Rob Jackson with the Crack Crew Waterproofing Company a shout out there. Great company. Folks, you just really, good, honest people in a world that's not necessarily above board or above water, I should say. Anyway, his phone number, 314-805-5692. And like I said, just if you guys have questions, I know you do, and I know that I always have tons of questions when I leave out here. Check on our Facebook page, Galloway Building Services, and our webpage, www.gallowaybuildingservices.com, and leave it. Now, when you do that, if you go to our webpage, we are offering a free thermal imaging infrared camera inspection to the 5th and the 15th people that to contact us and say we had a great show. Even if it ain't a great show, just tell us it's a great show. You'll still get it. That'll make me feel good. But also, what is an infrared thermal imaging? Well, we have all of this rain happening right now. And so right now, what it could do is it's going to tell us, do you got water behind the walls? Do you got water coming in down behind, in areas that you cannot see with the naked eye? And so this is a great opportunity to get a free inspection. When it gets really hot, we could pick up also energy losses. So this is something I'd highly recommend, and that's an infrared thermal imaging. If you just touch base, and I will contact you. This is Troy Galloway with About the House, owner of Galloway Building Services. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you listening to our show. It means a lot to me. Thank you.